Joy Lab.
Hi, I'm Tonya. Look what I found in the freezer section of the grocery store. Mini quiches. All right, well, if it's in the freezer section of the grocery store, then I, as a freezer meal home cook, can come up with a way to make these myself. And they will be cheaper, and they will be exactly the way that I want it, and my family wants it, and my picky eater wants it. And then I can have them in my freezer for any time we need this little special appetizer. Let's see what these look like. Florentine mini quiches with egg, cheese, and spinach baked in a flaky pastry. So cute, 15 of them. Well, we are going to make our own version together. I have this super fun mini tart baking set that I got for a Christmas gift years ago. They don't even sell them anymore, so maybe if you watch the video and it's something that you like, you can look for it on eBay. Or I put something sort of like it in the link below. Let me show you. It is by William Sonoma. It's made by William Sonoma. And it's these little shallow tarts. You cut out the pastry shell and then put it in and press it down to shape it. And we will do that together. Now, if you don't have one of these, and you don't want to buy the little individual ones that I have a link for in Amazon, link in the description below, then use mini muffin pans. And this will make the same size as the quiche from the grocery store freezer. And I will do both to show you how that all works out. Freezer meals are all about making your life easier at dinner time. And one of the ways we do that is by front loading the work. I went on a spree and made a whole bunch of pie crusts and froze them. When you freeze pie crust raw, you wrap it in some saran wrap and then put it in your freezer baggie, and I labeled it pie crust. I'm down to one left. I just took this out of the freezer and put it in the refrigerator overnight to have it ready for this video today. Now, the secret with pie crust is to keep it cold. So we're going to try to work quickly. We're going to flour our work surface. If you are going to be flouring some surfaces, I would recommend grabbing one of these. It's a flour wand, a bippity-boppity-boo flour wand. That was more of like conducting in 4/4 time. Bippity-boppity-boo, there we go. Then it's a flour wand. I'm going to show you how it works. You just squeeze, you grab some, and then sprinkle your flour on your workspace. Squeeze, grab some flour, and then squeeze a bit to sprinkle flour on your workspace. It's good because now your flour is not too thick and your flour isn't clumpy all in one place. Flour wand, you can get one yourself. I put a link in the description below. Even if you don't buy it, click on the link so you can see what it is I'm talking about. So there's my disc of pie crust. Just going to try to, it's cold still, good. I'm going to make it thin enough to cut out and put in our two different types of mini tart cooking pans. Looks like it's almost thin enough. There we go. For the Williams-Sonoma, you use the and you get to punch out these perfectly sized pie crust cutouts. And then use your little press to press the dough down a little more. Here we go. So if you have the Williams-Sonoma, that's how you use it. If you have a mini muffin pan, if you don't, you should definitely have a mini muffin pan. They are so useful. You're going to use, this is 2.5 inch. You can use a 3-inch biscuit cutter if you'd also like. This is 2.5 inch. I have a link in the description below for this size. And for these, I don't have a fancy press. I just have to use my fingers. And just press these discs of pie crust into the pan, like that. Now, pie crust works best when it's kept cold as much as possible. We've been playing around with it here on the counter and it's getting warm. So before I fill and bake these, I'm going to put them in the refrigerator for 30 minutes. So after I cut the rest of them, it's going into the refrigerator. See you in 30 minutes. For recipe guidance in making my copy of the grocery store mini quiches from the freezer section, I am using Dinner Pies by Ken Haedrich. And not only am I trying to copy mini quiche from the grocery store, I am also part of a cookbook book club. And this month, our cookbook book club is focusing on this book of dinner pies. Every one of us is tasked with choosing a recipe and bringing it to a potluck, and then we'll talk about how it was to make the recipe and things that we liked and things that we would like to improve. It is so much fun. If you have friends that like to cook, I would highly recommend starting a cookbook book club. You can see all the different recipes that I tried in Ken Haedrich's Dinner Pies. The different pastries, the pie dough. There's a bacon and tomato mini tart, very delicious. And for my picky eater, I did the pepperoni pizza bites. Let's see if there's a picture. Nope, not of that. Because the one that I settled on to make, there's no way my picky eater is going to eat. In fact, we did the pizza bites without the pepperoni, just for her. Because that's what moms do. I am doing not the kale and creme fraiche quiche. Ooh, I don't know about that. The one that we are going to do together is the Artichoke Art Olive and Sun-Dried Tomato Quiche. This quiche is a full-size pie quiche, but I'm trying to copy the grocery store mini quiches that were in the freezer section. So I am modifying this recipe for the mini tarts. I already made the pie dough. You saw we rolled it out and put it in our pie crust. I'm going to pull out the ingredients so we can be ready to fill the mini tarts once they've had 30 minutes in the refrigerator. Here are the ingredients for our artichoke hearts, olives, and sun-dried tomato quiche. Inside the little quiche packets, we will put some artichokes, sun-dried olives, sun-dried tomatoes, and some sauteed onion and Parmesan cheese. The egg mix that goes on top of that is eggs with some half and half and heavy cream, a little bit of flour, salt, and dried basil. Now, in a previous video, I told you you should find dented cans and buy them because you see there's no bulge and the date, it hasn't expired. So that means that this can of artichoke hearts is perfectly safe to eat. They are just selling it at such a great discount because of this tiny little dent. If your grocery store has a shelf in the back, kind of hidden away, where they sell dented cans, grab some. Freezer Meals is all about stocking your freezer with things that you will love to eat in the future. You can save money by stocking the freezer with products that are on sale because they're a little bit dented. All right, I need to saute the onion and then I will be back. While the onion is sauteing, we're going to have to work quickly when we take the pie crust out of the refrigerator. So I want to get the egg portion mixed up now so we can build things really fast. It is 4 eggs. One and a fourth cup of half and half. Yep, 1 1/4 cup, half and half. One. And a fourth. 1/4 cup heavy whipping cream. Tablespoon and a half of flour will help the eggs to set. In the mini quiches. And 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I like putting my dry ingredients in these Tupperware containers because it's so much easier to scoop salt than pour and try to level out of those tiny little openings. Grab some if you have a friend that sells Tupperware, or you can just check in the description below. I have a link to something that isn't Tupperware, but still good. Now I'm just going to mix this together with my Immersion blender. So much fun. Look at it, it's even pink, like my shirt. So quick. And it has these blades that are spinning and mix it up so much better than just with a fork. Ugh. And then look, it has this release button and this part goes in the dishwasher. So convenient. There's a link in the description below. Of course, you can check it out. The artichoke heart, olive, and sun-dried tomato quiche. These pieces need to be cut up into smaller pieces. You can use a knife and a cutting board. I find my kitchen shears, my kitchen scissors are just the thing for these small and quick jobs. So I'm just Cutting it into pieces. Now, in Dinner Pies by Ken Haedrich, he asks you in this recipe to cut them up. The artichokes, the olives, and the sun-dried tomatoes. But remember, his recipe is for a full-size quiche. We are making mini quiches, which means we need to make the pieces that are going in the mini quiche mini. Cute. Really small. And we won't be using that very much. Now, maybe you're thinking, Tonya, I don't like black olives. They're yucky. Well, don't use them. This is yours. Or maybe you really, really love these olives. Well, then use even more. It is up to you. And which is the wonder and magic of freezer meals. You get to customize and freeze and then have exactly what you want when you want. And you can even accommodate your picky eaters. Although my picky eater, there's no way she's not gonna do any of this. These sun-dried tomatoes in themselves just look like slimy, wrinkly, something that she would just never ever come close to. But the rest of us are looking forward to these mini quiches. Good, all right, I'm going to get the crust out of the refrigerator and load it up. They're just so adorably cute. I love these little tiny mini quiches, and we're making them ourselves. Now, you're only going to put the tiniest bit of the fillings in. In fact, 2 pieces. So 2 pieces of artichoke in each little mini quiche crust. Here we go. 2 pieces of black olive in each of the mini tart crusts. Two pieces of the sun-dried tomato. See how it's filling up? They're tiny and they are already filling up. 2 little tiny pieces of onion. My hands are slimy, I need to wash. A little tiny pinch of Parmesan. And just, I'm gonna do a pinch of dried basil leaves. Oh, that smells good. There's something about basil, just a little sprinkle. Remember, we have our salt in the egg part already, so we don't need to worry about salt. If you like pepper, put pepper in the egg dish too. Now, don't go overboard. It's only 1 teaspoon of the egg mix in each of the mini quiches. Only 1. You may think, oh, but that's not enough. It will expand just like scrambled eggs do when you cook scrambled eggs. Now, I could freeze them like this, but because the pie crust is so finicky, no. We're going to bake these and then let them cool and then freeze them. So I will see you when these are baked so you can see how delicious they look. Now, after making all those mini quiches using all my dough, I have all of this egg mixture left. What am I supposed to do with this? Well, I could make another batch of pie crust and make a quiche, a full-size quiche if I wanted to. What I'm going to do is use this for scrambled eggs, and it's so delicious. Now, I want to do a comparison. Remember, we have these quiches that inspired this whole pursuit from the freezer section of my grocery store. They were wrapped in plastic and in this little tray that kept them separated and kept them nice and neat in their box. Now, you can tell that these have been baked already, just like the mini quiches that we're baking right now. These were baked and then frozen. We are baking our mini quiches and then going to freeze them. But let's bake these and compare. At 375 for 14 to 17 minutes. Look at these. Look at how cute these are. All right. Take them out of the pan. Ooh, a little brown. Whew, a little hot. You can see how just 1 teaspoon of the egg mixture was plenty. Ah! Whew. Hot, hot, hot. Going to let those cool and we will compare with the grocery store mini quiches. Here are the ones from the grocery store freezer section. Do they match the picture? Sure, I guess, a little bit. Maybe if I had broiled them. Is that part of the instructions? Nope. Nicely browned. Hot, 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 hot. Whew, whew, whew. And these are getting cool, so I'm going to taste these right now. I have to let these cool before I do the taste test. But just looking at the appearance, these definitely look homemade. I think I needed to roll the dough thinner. See how thick it is? And here is one that's thinner. So when you roll out your pie crust, make sure it's thin. This is too thick. Nice and thin like that. And these, of course, are just so precious. If you have an opportunity from a garage sale or eBay to get the Williams-Sonoma mini Tart kit, I'd grab it. Or not, just definitely use the mini muffin pan. And now let me taste these. I love the different flavors because the olive is strong and artichokes are strong, and so are the sun-dried tomatoes. All 3 of those mixed together in a tiny little bite, a powerhouse of flavor. I like that. I'm not gonna bite these because it's exactly the same. And now this one, this is spinach, not my favorite, but it was what was available. And could I serve these at a party? Absolutely, and people would be very happy because they're talking as they're eating. And let's see. Now, this one doesn't have as much flavor because it's broccoli instead of the artichoke hearts and olives and sun-dried tomatoes. It's a very mild, neutral taste. These are fine. These are perfectly fine. But these are fabulous. And I can freeze these now so that they are available next time I'm having a party. When our homemade mini quiches cool completely, I will show you how to store them for the freezer. Our homemade mini quiches are completely cool. Let me show you how to package them for the freezer. Remember, our store-bought ones came in a little tray. We need to store ours in something flat like that also. I'm going to use my plastic container and Glad press and seal. Oxygen is the enemy of food in your freezer. So we want to keep air from touching it as much as possible. These guys weren't individually wrapped and they turned out just fine. These will not be individually wrapped, but they'll be sealed. I'll put one layer on the bottom, then put our completely cooled mini quiches on top. And another layer on top. Sorry. Now put the lid on. Now to label the container, I have my favorite freezer stickers. You should pick up some of these. They're the best because they come off just with running water. They don't have any sticky residue. You don't have to use any Gooby Gone. These are fabulous. There's a link in the description below. I'm putting this label where I will see it in my freezer. I have an upright freezer. Now my next label will have the instructions. We're going to bake from frozen. So do not thaw. Unwrap, place on pan, and it's 375 for 14 to 17 minutes. And the same as these little guys. Freezer meals are fabulous when you have picky eaters at your house. Freezer meals are fabulous to save money. This is much more expensive than the ingredients that I put into the homemade mini quiches. And freezer meals save time. I can front load the work, so on the day of the big party, I don't have to be doing all of this work. I can just pop these out of the freezer and into the oven and relax and enjoy my party. I have all sorts of links in the description below for the supplies I use during this video, to video courses and the cookbook. Don't forget the Ken Haedrich's Dinner Pies Cookbook. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. That helps YouTube put my video in front of other people who want to make their lives so much easier with freezer meals. I'm Tonya. Thanks for watching.
Joy Lab. Learning done right.
Learn more with Joy Lab. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Visit us at www.joylab.biz. Thank you.